How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty good. How you doing?
I'm all right. All right. Billy?
Doing good myself.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
see you.
coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So we're just going to rip it off right away with whitetail hunting.
Okay.
Yeah. You, out of everybody that I know, consistently kill big bucks almost every year.
I mean, I wouldn't say they're big, but
I mean,
depending on what part of the country you're in,
I'd say for here, I'd say for the Ohio River Valley, they're
decent.
They're decent deer. What are you, 130s, 140s every year?
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good buck.
I mean, but you go down to like North Carolina, you're not gonna, those are giants for what they have.
Those are huge.
You know.
You get into Georgia and Florida and stuff, yeah, they're monsters.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. There's some bruisers that come out of Georgia.
Yeah,
but
like Gunnersville, Alabama, like your big mature deer are no much bigger than like a full-grown lab.
Yeah, no, they're dogs. They're dogs. The Florida deer.
Yeah.
So how'd you get in it?
I mean, both sides of my family have been hunters all their lives. I grew up on 86 acres in Gallatin County, and it's been part of my life since the day I was born. My dad took me out for my first deer season when I was, I think, 8. Prior to that, it was small game, rabbits, squirrels.
What is youth age? Because I was looking this up for bear in Idaho the other day, and it's
illegal in Kentucky, I believe. 16 and under is youth.
What's the minimum age, though?
I don't know that there is a minimum. Maybe 8.
8 sticks out.
Because 8 sticks out, yeah. But I don't know that there's a minimum age as far as...
I think Sean's looking it up.
For youth permits or anything like that, for the legality purposes.
Yeah.
I think 8 is the number we're looking at.
In Kentucky, hunters under the age of 12 can hunt without needing a license or permit, including for deer and turkey seasons. They are also exempt from hunters' education requirements through voluntary certificates. Certification is available for those aged 9 to 11.
That sounds
so you can get
right.
hunter's ed at 9, but before that, you can hunt as a toddler in Kentucky, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean,
Idaho says 10 for big game. But when I was doing the reading on it, there's animals that I would consider big game that weren't necessarily on there. So, like bear.
So bear was not on there as big game?
Mm-mm. No, it was mule deer, elk, sheep.
I guess bear would fall under what predatory species?
Yeah.
Same as
wolves and so
cougars.
They said you could be younger than that to hunt predators, and I'm like, that's kind of wild. Because out of all the hunts that I would want to take a child on.
Maybe they're big on depredation,
Well, even if it's like a dogged bear hunt or a dogged mountain lion hunt, like you're putting miles down, and everybody knows that's where kids fall off. Because their feet hurt and stuff. Right?
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is one botched hunt to make a kid not want to do it anymore.
Right. I think that's why deer hunting is so crucial to getting kids into it.
I mean, yeah,
it's low impact.
It's low impact, high reward.
Yeah.
I mean, with modern firearms.
Well, because even a blown hunt, even sitting in it's not a bad day just sitting in the stand.
No.
Right.
But even with, modern firearms, you don't have to be quiet. You can take shots at a deer 400 yards away, and, you could be sitting there listening to the radio, and the deer's not going to know you're there.
Or they're just not going to care.
Yeah.
Because they're so socialized.
Yeah.
So. It's like the deer you pass on the highway.
Yeah.
They don't generally care about. Now they're going to be weirded out if they see you walking around.
Right.
But they don't care about cars or noise and stuff like that.
So,
The thing that's neat though, would you state is like the importance of like hunting heritage. It's like you've learned it from both sides of the family, which I think is somebody from the outside doesn't get. Like when we talk about hunting heritage and things like that, I mean these are things that have been passed on for generation to generation, and even for new hunters that are coming in, as we recruit new hunters coming in, you can already see like the passion that's going to be passed on to their kids and so forth. And like, I mean, above anything else, that is important. Like that stands out for me.
I mean, I'm trying to do it with both of my sons. I mean, my oldest Wyatt, he's 3, and before he was a year old, I had him in camo when I came home opening day of turkey season, and had him petting the turkey and just kind of getting him just some type of physical connection with the animal, just to see how he felt about it. And I do it every year. Whatever I bring home, I make sure that he's a part of it. And my other son Cohen, he's 4 months old. This year when I kill a deer, I'm gonna bring it home and let him get the same physical feel for it, and just really introduce him as early as I can. So my parents did that with me, and
I always try to look at it from the outside looking in. And I've said it before, I don't think you get here without the heritage side of it. I don't think you get to, but we all know people that didn't grow up in it, that started it later in life, that are head over heels with it.
Yeah. I mean, some people might take it a bit too far, but at the same time,
Sean is a wonderful example of it, and maybe one day we'll get him out here talking about it. But Sean didn't grow up with hunting.
No.
Not in any crazy aspect where it was something that had to be done.
Right.
And Sean, statistically, is the best hunter I know.
I'd put an asterisk next to it for whitetail.
For whitetail hunting, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Sean's the only hunter I know that's batting 1,000.
Every time he's been out, he's put something on the ground.
Yeah, and every time he's been hunting, he's got a deer.
I mean, that's great to get introduced to it, because the first time I went deer hunting, we didn't see anything.
Buddy, the first
we saw my dad saw a massive buck, and I was sitting there looking at the ground because I'm 7, 8 years old, and we're walking through the woods, and this is later in the afternoon. We've been walking through the woods all day and haven't seen anything, so I was starting to get bored with it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I look up, and there's this white tail running away,
bouncing away,
big rack, just
Yeah.
That's my first memory of deer hunting. And then, I think the following season we went back out. We put down a pretty nice 8-point buck, and I mean, it was a botched shot and crippled it in its spine, but still it was
well, you get the excuse of youth.
Well,
at that point.
Well, at the time, my dad's rifle, he didn't want me to drop it or anything, so he shouldered it, but let me look down the scope, So, I don't think the shot placement would have been the best in that scenario.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we walked up on it and then gave it a graceful, quick kill at that point, just to end its suffering, but...
Sean's had to do one of those. I don't know how graceful it was.
Well,
I've never seen anybody mutilate a deer so bad.
I mean, you have your good hunts and your bad.
It was a good shot. It was just, I don't think that angle could have been anticipated.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody on the other side of the camera is going to know what I'm talking about. But from the tower stand, so you're already at this crazy high angle on top of a hill.
Right.
Shooting down, and then that, if you're looking down towards the clover field, that dip on the left side is where she was. And so it's like that just intensifies that angle even more.
Oh, yeah.
And so good shot, but that angle played a whole lot in that. And I'd never seen anything like it. He blew the organs, I mean,
right out the breastplate.
right out the breastplate was absolutely blown out.
I mean, he just blew out that meat, and the organs were still intact, hanging out.
Like,
keeping that deer alive.
It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. And
it wasn't a kill shot.
No, it was.
I mean, it was a kill shot, but the angle went beneath all of the vital organs.
All the vitals, okay, gotcha.
And the vital organs were hanging out the blown out hole.
Yeah,
the exit wound, they were just hanging out.
It was pretty wild.
Did she run?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he had to put 2 more shots in her.
One
more.
Well, 2 in total. One to lay her down, and then one to kill her.
I mean, it
happens sometimes.
Sometimes it's ugly like that. But,
well, yeah, I mean, that's. Again,
I think anybody that says that they've had perfect execution every time is a liar.
No.
Your entire life, you're telling me from the time you were a child, you just magically laid down every single deer and they died right there?
I've gut shot plenty of deer, and it's a horrible feeling.
Yeah, it happens though.
Not only are you making the animal suffer, but you gut shoot a deer and
redeeming story for Sean though. He has the only perfect bow kill I've ever heard of.
Really?
His first deer was with a bow.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, right down the hill from here. Double under 25 yards or so, 25, 30 yards.
I mean, to have a bow kill is pretty impressive, but to have it be your first and have it be a perfect shot, I mean, the stars are aligning.
She went 20 yards and was dead in the creek.
I mean, you can't ask for something better.
Maybe not even 20 yards. I mean, she was pretty close to where he shot her.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of archery, you can't ask for anything better than that. You know? Only thing better than that is for her to drop where she stood.
Going to shock right there. And
I think I've only seen one hunter drop a deer where it stood with a bow, and it was just a fluke. So
I think with archery, you never really know what you're going to get 100% of the time. Because you just don't have that shock.
No.
Right. The modern speed bows and stuff, it's getting a little better. But they still, I think, archery hunting, I always anticipate that thing is going to run. Right? It's going, you're tracking a deer, no matter what. Actually, when I came in to track his, because I told him to stay in the stand, and I would show up and find it. And I came in here and I walked in from the road. And I didn't know if this was the doe that he had shot or not. But I rolled up 10 yards from this big doe laying down up against a tree. And I'm like, oh, this has to be it. And then she stood up and there were no wounds. But she didn't care about me either. But it's the deer,
Yeah.
These deers, at that point in time, they were seeing me 2 or 3 times a week down there, And so she didn't really freak out. She just kind of stood up and moseyed off. And I had my bow in my hand just in case I ran across his deer, and I should, to this day, I'm like, you should have plugged her. But yeah, no, perfect, the only perfect bow kill I've ever seen. Where it's like literally no tracking. As soon, followed the blood over the bank into the creek and looked up, and there she is, 15 feet from there. Like,
Sean's like the doe whisperer.
Have you ever shot a buck, Sean? Or has it all been doe?
2 does so far.
Okay.
Batting 1,000.
They taste better.
Yeah, I mean, meat's meat.
I'm kind of to the point where I don't really eat a lot of deer anymore.
I mean, that is nice, but
I got ruined by oryx.
If you've had Sean's record, you'd eat deer all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, a deer was a huge part of our diet. That was a financial savior. I would go out and I would limit out and that would be what fed us for the winter.
Yeah.
You know, saved my parents a lot of money, not having to buy meat at the grocery store because, you know, venison is just lean beef, in my opinion, you know. And then with, you know,
I mean, I do everything with wild game that I would do with beef.
yeah,
You know, I've eaten in the last 2 days orc steak for dinner one night, and then made tacos out of Aoudad last night.
And like with raising the pigs that we do, you know, we'd keep the fat and we would mix that in with the deer when we ground it and give it a fat content to it for burgers or whatever, just having that, you know, similar structure to beef.
Yeah.
And tastes great, you know.
I got to mix up a bunch of burger when I get home. I didn't grind any of it with, obviously, we didn't have any down there when we ground that oryx up.
Right.
But I actually mix it with pig fat from your guys' pigs.
Yeah.
And it makes good burgers. I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you weren't mixing it with the fat. I've seen dudes try it a bunch of different ways where they put like breadcrumbs and stuff or like try to use different things as binders to hold.
Yep. I
hold
mean,
the meat
it's just
together.
so lean that it crumbles.
And I'm like, you
apart,
gotta put fat in it. Like,
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So
Either that or what one I've seen was bread, putting, you know, crumbling up bread and mixing it in there to bind it together. But then you're carving up your meat. And
use eggs.
Eggs is a good one too.
Yeah.
I would use eggs. Probably I would use eggs long before bread.
Oh yeah.
But I like pig fat, so
Everybody does.
yeah.
No.
I'm never mad at it.
Deer population, was that something that you guys went out and threw out food plots and kind of nourish and kind of grow a herd? Or
So when I was a teenager, and my dad got into raising beef cattle, we have what we call the clover field, and we used to square bale that for hay. And then he also wanted to plant it for deer season. Up where the tower stand is, that whole hillside, we went through there one summer when I was real young, and we pulled all the rocks out of it and planted it in soybean.
Oh, wow.
And tried to do a food plot for deer. I mean, it was not the most maintained thing, and it kind of fell off after a year or two, but the deer population out there is big enough that, you know, 5 or 6 hunters can, you know, get a deer or two every year, and it still replenishes itself, and the surrounding farmlands help, you know.
If you're fast
population
enough,
going.
you can tag out on doe.
I mean,
really easy.
There was one year I tagged out in one day. You know, I dropped 3 deer within 5 minutes of each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was that. I was done hunting for the year. So I would go out and help, you know, either my dad or my stepmom kill a deer, you know. I'd just sit out there with them, just help be there for the processing part of it. And, you know, if they had the time to hunt because they were working a lot growing up. So, but we've never really tried to manage a herd. We've talked about, you know, if a buck is under this criteria, let it walk. But everybody gets that opening day jitters, and, you know, they see horns of any size, they always look bigger in the scope.
And it's a problem. Like with,
You know.
we have family property, and it's really self-sufficient. We've never really had to throw out food plots because, you know, it's like 90 acres in between cornfields, so it's like a highway of deer just crossing. So, you know, thankfully we've never really had to throw out a food plot. You always had the ethics, like, you know, if you see a little spike, this guy's going to go, you know, a little 2-pointer, 4-pointer, we're going to pass on this guy. But the ethics and the standards that we have for our property, guy next door doesn't have the same standards. And it's son of a bitch. Like I want these boys to grow. Like I want them to spread their genes. I want them to get out there.
I want big bucks on that property. I want to see the deer average at least 170 at
That'd
some
be
point
wild.
in their life.
The problem is that again, it takes cooperation. It's not just you, especially on small parcels. Like if you've got 1,500 acres that you have full control over,
you can do it.
You can make it happen.
You've got 86 acres and the farm next door is 542 acres and they've got 3 different families that hunt that. You know, they have their own agreement to, kill bucks, but once they cross over the property line, there's no holds barred,
Right.
One of our neighbors got the property next to us. I know he leases out to people from Michigan. It's like, so they come down, they're
not wasting the trip.
They're not wasting the time. Yeah, they're getting out there, they're getting after it, and it's, that does make it hard when you're wanting to, see these boys coming at like an average of 170, but
yeah, I mean,
this guy from Michigan's just going to smoke this thing and take it home.
The cooperation is the biggest key to it, and everybody can agree to it at one point, but then, like I said, opening day jitters, people will. That just goes out the window. So, I try to.
I had the opposite thing happen to me a couple of years ago.
You just didn't see their heads.
The antlers didn't. I thought that was a doe.
Yeah,
that spike.
I've had that happen before,
and so I laid that thing down. Well, the only reason I shot that deer at all is because I had never seen anything like it. In person, and that thing was covered in tumors. Well, they weren't tumors. It was some form of deer papillomavirus.
I mean, it had just growths all over its
these
body.
These big brown growths hanging off of it everywhere. And so,
you had to dig it out.
Yeah. So I shot that thing, and there was something else wrong with that deer. When I cut it open, because I was still going to field dress it, and I looked it up as soon as I shot it. What is this? Is it you could still eat the meat off of it? It's just fine,
right?
And then I cut it open, and I had these like yellow pustules lining the inside of its rib cage, and I was like, "We're just not touching this."
Right.
Whatever that deer had, I'm going to guess multiple different things going on.
Yeah.
But I 100% like. I didn't know it was a spike until I walked up on it.
Yeah. I have a picture of a buck that I killed that I'm not proud that I killed it because it was so small. I mean, it was a 50-yard shot from the tower stand, and I thought it was a doe. And, I mean, that tower stand is all open grassland up there on that hillside.
Yeah.
I walked up on it, and, I mean, its rack probably had less mass than this tine itself, Like, you can't see that at 50 yards, even with a scope.
No.
You're not seeing that size. So it does happen, and thankfully there's that grace with Kentucky law that, you can claim it as an antlerless deer, if they're under a certain size.
Yeah.
So I was able to save my buck tag for another day, but I wound up eating tag soup on it that year, is what it is.
Happens.
Do you hunt late season?
He doesn't generally have to.
Yeah, generally I don't have to. I mean, I will go out opening weekend, and that is, that's Brucey's time to shine. Right. I go out there and I will sit from an hour before sunup till an hour after sundown, unless I kill something, I think it was the season of 2020. I got out there at 5 a.m, and I think I killed my buck at like 6:15 in the evening. He's probably 135-inch 8-point buck. Very nice deer for the area. But yeah, it was it was an all-day sit, and everybody would go in for lunch or come back out for an evening sit, and they're not seeing anything. But I'm like, I'm sitting out here all day once I'm out here, because you start moving around, the deer are not going to come back out.
Mm-hmm. The one thing we always say is that embrace the grind. Like, you got to grind it out and do it.
Yeah, and I mean, where I hunt the same spot every year, and I'm consistently coming out with these 130, 140 inch deer. And part of it is sitting there all day waiting for that deer to come out. This year, the deer I killed, I think he measured out to like 143. But I passed on a probably 120 inch 8-point, passed on 6 or 7 doe. I was aiming for a buck. And so.
Yeah, I kind of refused in Ohio. Season runs through like mid-February, and at that point, it's like you don't know if it's a doe or if it's shed already. Like, it's why even go out there and risk it?
And it's like the same thing with squirrel season. They have that spring season. I refuse to hunt squirrel in the spring because you don't know if that's going to be a female who's got a nest, and that's how you decimate the population.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they're abundant.
For something on the wall, I think late season deer look real cool. Like that guy right out there, thick with 3 C's. He's like one of might be the fluffiest whitetail I've ever messed with. But that dude also got shot in December. I don't know. I'd have to look at the pictures to tell you when in December, but it was almost to the point where it's like you might grab this thing and you just pull his antlers off.
Yeah.
It was late enough to be worried about it.
I like bucks in velvet, and I like prime rut bucks.
Oh, my issue with velvet bucks is it's too damn hot.
Yeah, you got to move quick to not let any meat spoil.
That's in 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. The buck I killed this year, the taxidermist, he said it was the thickest necked buck he's ever seen. He had to custom order a form for him because I think his neck measured out at 26 inches. He said it was the thickest. So,
any estimate on age? 5,
he didn't
6?
give me an estimate on the age, but in my personal opinion, I would say that deer was probably 5 years old. He was probably going to decline in rack size the following year.
Mm-hmm.
But, he came out at, I think it was like 275 yards. And I could tell he was a decent deer. And, I put the scope on him, and he looked even bigger, as they all do. And said, "You're the one."
Control the breathing.
Yup.
The best, one of the nicest deer I've ever seen out there. I couldn't do anything about it. It was right before deer season. This is 2 years ago. I was out there coyote hunting.
Yeah.
And it was the wildest thing to me. I was in the tower stand, and this buck comes rolling up the hill from looking down the hill, like the left side.
So from the street side?
Pasture side.
Pasture side, okay. So he was coming up from...
Yeah, comes rolling up the hill. Not a care in the world.
Did he come from the house side or the interstate side out of the woods?
The interstate side.
Okay, yeah. They got a big highway over there.
Oh, I know. I want to hunt it with a bow.
That hillside over there is full. It's just chock full of deer.
I would love to hunt that with a bow. I wouldn't do it during rifle season because then you're just going to screw it for everybody else.
Yeah. That property has produced some big deer. My grandpa, on the far side of the property where it actually goes into the next farm, where that top ridge line is, if you go down into that bottom on the neighbor's property and go into that holler, my grandpa killed a Pope and Young record buck in the 78, 79 season. He's got a plaque on the wall. It's almost a 170-inch deer. I think it's like 168 inches.
Oh, wow.
He's got a plaque on the wall from Pope and Young, had everything recorded. He's in the books, So there are big deer out there if you let them grow.
Yeah.
But I think it's really neat that he killed that deer before he even met my family. And my family owned that property right next door. You know, that was in the late 70s. My dad was 5-6 years old the year that my grandpa killed that deer. So it's, you know, kind of cool to see how things kind of unfolded, and how my parents met and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not saying that had anything to do with it,
No.
but to see that, you know, he hunted that area when, you know, they bought the farm, and just seeing how close everything was, it's like kind of a circumstance, you know. But my grandpa has been probably the biggest influence in my life for hunting. My earliest memories of hunting, if they don't include my dad, they include my grandpa.
Mm.
You know, he took me on my first squirrel hunt, rabbit hunt, quail hunt. He used to raise quail and raise bird dogs. So we would go out, and he tried to establish coveys of quail out there, and they never took. But we would go out there, and because he raised them in captivity, you know, we didn't have to follow the hunting seasons, because we were out there training the dogs. But he still, you know, had the purpose to try to reestablish a quail covey out there just to get them in the wild.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just never took, but...
And I don't understand that, because I mean, it's perfect habitat.
The habitat out there would be, it is awesome for them.
I mean, it's no different than like if you ever hunted Peabody.
No,
I mean, there's a lot of wildlife management areas, so there's a lot of regulations. How many people can go in and hunt, but a ton of wild quail down there. And I just don't really know. Like, it's not the habitat's not that much different than up here. In fact, there's probably more predatory animals down there than up here.
Well, I think, and this is just me, I think we really do have a predation issue with not only the small game birds, but even the big game, even turkey.
Oh, yeah, the coyotes are absolutely
it's
horrible.
not
raccoons.
I think raccoons are the big problem. Especially think about the amount of raccoons you see today versus when we were
and
kids.
The hawks. The hawks are after the turkey nests.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
And that's one of the reasons I got involved with the National Wild Turkey Federation. It's like, when I was younger, I mean, there was a lot of work done to reestablish the populations, and you could go out and, you know, tag out. And it was like the last... decade or so, it's like it's hit or miss. Like, it's really hit or miss. Like, why? I couldn't understand, like, why. Well, it seemed to me like right now turkey was the right animal to jump on in Ohio, Kentucky. To like, these majestic birds are, to me, without any science behind it, were like on the decline, because I could not see them out in the fields as much as I did years prior.
You know, fun historical fact. Ben Franklin proposed that the wild turkey be America's national animal, not the bald eagle.
Yeah.
So
I would have voted for it.
Yeah. I mean, they are beautiful animals, and I mean,
intelligent,
super intelligent.
And it just, there's something about you hearing them gobble first thing in the morning, a nice cool morning, and thick fog, and you just hear that gobble and the next ridge over, and it's just, it carries, and it just, something about it is special.
The whole turkey hunt, like, you know, that's my thing. Like, you know, for not hunting out west, like, you know, you kind of lose the lure with, you know, whitetail hunting.
Yeah.
Turkey hunting, like, just being actively engaged, like you said, hearing that first gobble.
I mean, and the challenge of it as well, you know, it actually puts you in an uncomfortable position. You know, with deer hunting, you can, you know, shoot a deer 400 or 500 yards away, and it's easy. Turkey, you got to get it, you know, inside 60 yards, and, you know, they can
with
see
modern,
and hear everything.
Modern TSS, 80 yards is doable these days. You got guys doing it with a 410.
I'd probably max out at like 60, maybe 50 to 60 is.
Yeah, I mean, once you go beyond like 50 to 60, your shot pattern is just not as controlled as it should be, even with the TSS. I mean, you're going to get maybe, 6, 7 BBs to maintain after 60 yards.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've been, because I love turkey hunting, and I've killed a couple before, nice headshots, within 25, 30 yards. So nice headshots.
Mm-hmm.
I know where I shot it. You start to breast it out, and it's like there's a bunch of old lead in it. Like, these birds are tough animals. Like, they're...
Oh, yeah. They are extremely tough animals. And, I mean, once you get beyond a certain point of distance, you're counting on one BB to hit the right spot, I've taken that shot before, and I walked up on this bird. It was just a little Jake, but it was probably a 60-yard shot, and I could not find the BB penetration hole just because of the scatter pattern.
But you had a dead bird?
I had a dead bird, but there was no indication as to where I hit this bird to kill it. I could not find it.
Didn't you have one jump you? Walk up on it and jump?
When I was in high school, yeah. I got home from school one day. It was fall turkey season, and I said, "Dad, I'm going to go turkey hunting." He said, "All right." I came back, within an hour, and he said, "I thought you were going turkey hunting." I'm like, "There's a dead bird on the back porch." He came out, and he's like, "You're the luckiest hunter I've ever seen in my life." And, I mean, I walked into the woods. I walked up. I crested over the top of this power line ridge, and there was 6 jakes just in a group feeding, and they were 40 yards away. Weren't paying a bit of attention to me, and I was like, all right. Pulled the trigger, walked over, got my bird, and walked back to the house. Quickest, easiest hunt I've ever been on, and hadn't had one like that since. That was a fluke.
Absolute fluke.
I mean, you kind of, when you're hunting whitetail here in a stand, you kind of have an idea how this is going to work, how it's going to be. But like, turkey's different. Like, I've been on a hunt where, like, I'm making a call, I see a turkey come up over the ridge. He's a couple hundred yards off. I'm working him, and then finally, he gets within a certain range, and he branches off, right?
Or he hangs up because he's got hens out there.
And I'm like, okay, I'm calling it in, I'm packing it in. And as I'm packing up the blind, I turn around and look, and there's a tom right behind me.
Yo.
Like, I didn't expect that. Like, you just, it's unexpected. It's fun.
Yeah. For patterning turkeys, like, you can put them to bed and roost them. So, you know the general area they're going to be in, but you have no idea what direction they're going to fly down in the morning. You don't know if they're going to respond to your calls. Nothing. You can use that, hoot, owl, locator call to get them to gobble so you can find them, but you have no idea. They're so unpredictable, and I think that's what makes them so much fun to hunt,
Yeah.
Deer, you can pattern them all day. They're going to take this same highway all day, every day. They're going to be here at this time. I put out a trail camera for turkey season this year because it was just littered with birds. Every day I had it out for fall deer season, patterning the deer. And there was at one point probably 40 turkeys on one picture.
Oh my gosh.
It was nuts. I put that camera out in the same exact spot for spring just to see what the birds were like. Never got a picture of a bird. And it's like, where did they go?
Where'd you go? Do you hunt the fall turkey season, or do you just focus on whitetail?
In the fall, I dedicate it to whitetail.
Same here.
Spring is my turkey season. I will go out opening weekend of turkey season, and I will hunt every Saturday of turkey season until I get at least one bird. So I'd like to tag out, but
the 2 best days of turkey season are opening day and closing.
Yeah. You're just...
Bird hunting's rough.
It is. It is very rough, but it's very rewarding.
I don't know. I stepped away from turkey hunting just because I don't like to eat it that much. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of turkey.
It is very dry, and I mean, you got to breast out a bird.
Yeah.
Everything else is not worth it. My first bird, I plucked it.
Yeah, I'll never
put
do that
in the
again.
effort because I wanted a whole bird skin on to cook. I was proud of my kill, and God, anything but the breast was just nothing but sinew. And it's nothing like the turkey you get at the store because those are all farm raised. They're not running around for their life, strengthening their leg muscles. That's what wild turkey are doing. They're running around all the time, and they got nothing but muscle. So the breast meat's really the only good thing on a wild turkey.
Just breast it out. That's all I ever really do.
And if it's big enough, I'll take the beard and the tail fan.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
If I ever do another turkey mount, I'll probably take a wing. I saw a really cool mount. This guy took a wing and he turned it into an Indian headdress, and so he had like a brass Indian face, and then the wing was like the feathers on a headdress, and then the beard was a tassel hanging down on the side of his head. And I thought that looked really neat. So
I can't say the next time I'll actually hunt turkey.
We gotta get you back out there, Jake.
You're gonna come with me because one of these days I'm gonna attempt a grand slam at some point. And
that's a lot of driving.
So I actually looked into it a little bit this last week. In order for it to qualify as a grand slam, you got to do it all in the same spring season. Which that's a lot of driving.
That's a lot of driving here.
But
so you start here and then you're going to go down to Florida for Osceola?
Nope. I would honestly probably start in Oklahoma and drive at an angle southeast to Florida because you can hit all 4 breeds from Oklahoma to Florida.
Huh. Okay.
If you want to do a royal slam, you're going to have to go to like New Mexico or Arizona and then drive across Texas.
What's the difference?
So a grand slam, you have your 4 North American birds. You have the eastern turkey, the Osceola, the Goulds, and
the Rio Grande.
Yeah. The royal slam includes the Merriams, I believe, is the breed. And then you have in Oklahoma in like the like Tornado Alley stretch, you have hybrids. So whatever they look like, if you kill a hybrid, whatever bird breed it looks like, you tag it as that for your grand slam. Is how you can register it. So it's just based on its appearance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to do that one day, just to say I did it.
Yeah. I was looking into a lot of the slams, have kind of like the sheep slam and all that.
Yeah.
I'll probably never be able to afford to even have the idea of a sheep slam. But West Virginia has a trap slam now, and I think that's pretty cool.
What is a trap slam?
Trout.
Oh, trout.
Oh.
Trout.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 3 or 4 different species of trout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. But chasing the turkeys around like that's wild. Well, then you also have, and I'm sure there's guys that can do it. I've never met one though. I believe it's 5 elk species.
I mean, you're spending 6 figures at that point.
Yeah. Well, in some of those places, I don't even know if you can hunt. And then there's places out west where it's like the Rocky Mountain elk and the Roosevelt elk have all essentially bred together.
Yeah, they're a blended family now.
Yeah, so you're not really gonna know. But that'd be cool. But elk hunting, man, I don't know how, not only guys that do it every year, but guys that hunt multiple elk a year.
I mean,
I
they've got to
cannot
have an in, or they've got to have
through the draw,
Yeah,
like the
money.
draw systems and stuff.
Yeah, and money.
Well, and that's something that you don't know that it exists until you know that it exists. That you can just, well, there's only going to be one state left with outfitter allocation in the future, and that's assuming that they don't change it. But that was pay to play, through allocated tags. As long as you had the money to buy a tag from somebody, you could buy an outfitter tag. That didn't mean that you always necessarily had to go on a guided hunt, but you could guarantee if you had the money, you could get the tag.
Oh yeah.
But there are not many allocated states left, and there will only be, I believe, one within the next 2 years or so. And so then everything's going to be up to a draw. Idaho is going to draw this year for non-residents instead of the over-the-counter thing, which I feel like is stressful. Because it is.
But it kind of evens the playing field a little.
It's
bit
just
so
a mad
that,
dash.
Your regular Joe that doesn't have six figures to spend on, buying an elk hunting prime real estate.
It's first come, first serve, but they do the thing where it's like, say we're all, sitting around waiting for our number in the queue to come through and buy these tags over the counter. Say you get it, right? You can, while you're in there, they will let you buy tags for me and him. You can buy for your whole group, which is cool, but it also, I mean, without a system like that, I wouldn't have gotten my mule deer tag this year. But also with a system like that, like who's stopping the millionaires from, or, just your relatively wealthy guys that have a friend group like that from buying up all the tags.
You're talking about the same kind of guys that won't allow you to legally corner cross.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's because it would take, and I don't know, there might be a safeguard in place for that says, hey, you can only buy 2 or 3 of these elk tags per, not per person, but like per group. Right. So say there's 2 or 3 of you in there and you've got one guy that's doing all the purchasing. Hey, you guys can only buy, 3 of you aren't getting a sawtooth elk tag. One of the 3 of you can have this elk tag because they're so sought after. I don't know if they do anything like that. If they don't, it makes sense that they're going to a draw. But I believe residents, it's still going to be over the counter out there. And then there's states that will always have over the counter, but like everybody knows in Colorado, you get over the counter elk in Colorado, 9 out of 10, you're getting a beat ass unit that you don't want to be hunting anyhow.
Right.
I mean, you're just really out there to do it because I've done that a couple times. Like you're just
You're there for the
you're
experience.
just out there for the experience. Yeah, it's like if you don't put in for it, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get a.
And then you have your
hanger.
preference point states like Arizona. I would consider a big preference point state. Arizona, if you don't have the good units in Arizona are 7 points. So I honestly believe you are better off just waiting 7 years, buying that tag, buying that preference point every year for 7 years, and then guaranteeing yourself, hey, I'm going to get to hunt the kaibab. Right?
That would be nice.
Where it is, it's cool, but I would almost say, depending on where you go, if you know where to go, you're going to just be able to pick your elk. You know, you're going to roll in and there's going to be 400 of them standing in front of you. That's the ultimate goal, I guess, is to get a tag like that and not have to.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of hunting, especially for me, is like the suck kind of matters.
It does.
I think, I don't know that there's been a hunting trip I've been on that the easiest one I've ever had is kind of the least memorable.
Right.
You know, anything that I've ever just been able to, we're here. Barely had to, not even put a mile in. And it's like, there's something. Shoot it.
Kind of like getting home from school, going out over one ridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I really remember that hunt is because of my dad being like, "You're the luckiest hunter I've ever seen." You know?
I mean, you have to, I guess, like a
You
Western
do. You
hunt,
shoot a turkey every time you go out, too. Pretty
Not
much.
every time. I've noticed a pattern. It's kind of a cycle. I will kill a nice, like, gobbler I'm proud of. And then the following year, I'll kill a Jake. And then the year after that, I won't kill anything.
Yeah. It's almost like a 2-year cycle.
Yeah, it's 2-3 year cycle of, getting a nice bird. And I'm kind of sad this year. The bird I killed, I just wasn't the bird I was after. On my fall trail camera pictures, I have a very nice triple bearded tom, and that was my target bird. But this year, I had a newborn, so I had to change up my priorities of turkey hunting. So I gave myself opening weekend. I was going to hunt Saturday and Sunday, so I gave myself not seeing anything Saturday. But luckily, that Jake came in, and I was like, bird on the ground. It's something.
It's something.
It's meat in the freezer.
Yeah.
So, I haven't really trophy hunted turkeys, for lack of better terms.
Almost too difficult, unless you knew where they were every day. Again, if you have 1,500 acres,
you can do that.
You can do that.
When you've got 500 acres on one side and 1,200 on the other side, and they've got hunters that are doing their own thing, and they're actually investing in, food plots, and and they have their own standing regulations with members of their hunting parties on that property. It's nice being in the highway that they cross between, because you get that outlier every now and then, but it really helps that I'm the only one that ever hunts turkey at that property. So, I'm not competing with anybody else to hunt birds there. I have 86 acres to do my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ruin anybody else's hunt.
It seems like it's working out for you. Even if you're on a 3-year cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like it works out. So what do you want to do? What's your future as far as hunting look like? Where do you want to go with it?
I definitely would love to get more into Western big game, with the Orcs draw.
It's a trap.
Going out with you on your Orcs hunt a couple years ago, that was a completely different animal, and I loved every minute of it, and it made it that much more hopeful that I can get into it and attain those goals.
I don't think it's definitely not impossible.
The financial side of it is where I think most everybody is going to have issues because it takes money to play.
Yeah.
So,
putting in, especially if you're one of those guys that puts in for multiple states.
Yeah.
You're spending a few $1,000s a year.
Yeah.
On a maybe.
Yeah. And
especially these days, not too many people can afford that. Not too many people can swing that. But there are opportunities out there that aren't spoken about often.
Right.
And you'll notice this the deeper you get into it, the gatekeeping is insane.
I mean, that's like with Kentucky Elk Lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what, $10 to put your name in for a lottery draw for, I think you have to pay $10 for every different
Tag.
category they
it was
have.
$30 for me this year.
Yeah, you got to pay 10 for a
cow.
for archery, 10 for a bull, 10 for a cow, modern firearm on each. And from my understanding of it, Unit 2 in Kentucky is like your best bet to not spend an arm and a leg for paying for a outfitter, so to speak. Kentucky has really, the private landowners have really figured out how to profit off of Kentucky elk hunting.
Yeah.
So Unit 2 has the most public land. You're not going to kill a wall hanger in Unit 2, but you're not going to be paying $5,000 to kill something on somebody's private property.
Yeah. It's kind of a racket, the elk hunting in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Like to the point that I quit 2 years ago. I quit putting in for the draw.
Yeah.
Because it's just so slimy.
And then their record keeping is atrocious as far as they've gone to the preference points, and you cap out at 25. And
that's a lot of points.
Yeah. I have put in every year. I've paid that extra $10 when I buy my hunting license, and I only have 7 points. But I've been buying a hunting license since I was 12.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because I've been putting in for. I put in for 15 years before I quit.
Yeah.
And I don't know that something would have to drastically change with how that's all. And it's not even so much the lottery. Like I can deal with a lottery. That's how the works tags and everything else work. It was lottery. But I'm not going to get stifled by private land.
No.
I'm not going to go down there and put all this time, money, and effort in to running into animals that I don't want to shoot because that's what's there, And there's,
I mean, that's when you think about the reintroduction of elk in 1997, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Great job, right? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely,
an absolute gem of a job. Like, if there was a way that you would model this for other states for reintroductions, it's the way Kentucky did it. I mean, it's perfect. Largest elk herd outside the American West. But it doesn't really benefit the common man anymore.
No.
And that's the issue. Like, how do you fix that? Like, how do you get away private landowners? And I mean, I guess I hate saying it like this, but like hoarding these big bulls. Like, how?
Right. And I mean, they're not hunting them, so they get away with going out there and throwing out a big ass corn pile. Right. They're not baiting them. They're just putting corn out on their property. And they don't have a tag, they're not hunting them, so they skate by the law. Right. It's crazy to see what they get
Mm-hmm.
with, and it makes me not want to do it.
I personally
it's the negative that came along with it. Like, I guess you live in America, we all believe in making a profit, making a living, but shit, this is a tough one to swallow.
At what point is it you're being too greedy?
Well,
I understand everybody's got to get their nut, everybody wants to make their money, but
at a certain point, I think it was the elk in Kentucky. A lot of it had to do with that it was all private land to begin with.
Yeah.
And Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation bought a bunch of land back up, turned it public. The state did the same thing.
I mean, you've got those old shut down coal mines that
it was all still private property.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything with it.
Yeah,
it's just empty.
But
coal mines.
It goes into that. This is an argument that came up during the huge public land debate earlier this year. You have states that are, say they can't afford to afford the management or proper upkeep of these public lands. And I feel like that's a big part of it for Kentucky. And politics aside, the budget in Kentucky is a mess and has been for a while. And I don't know that the state, even if you look at some of the state parks, and the dam at Big Bone's been bad for almost 10 years. And I'm going to assume they're just waiting for it to collapse.
Yeah.
But to think that they would, if they won't put money into what they already have, are they going to put money if somebody or any of those old mining companies were to just give the land to the state, tens of thousands of acres and say, here you go. Is the state going to do anything with it? Right? Are they going to manage it the way that it needs done?
Honestly, I would prefer if they just did nothing with it but open it to the public.
Open it to the public.
Preferably.
Don't touch it.
Well, because it takes, we're all involved with different organizations, protecting public land, access, and so forth. But it's a lot of the groups, like, we had Jeff on here from Pheasants Forever.
Yeah.
Like, we'll have Zane on from National Wild Turkey Federation. So guys like that are able to put the groups together to go out and actually do the maintenance that's needed. It's because we love the land. We love the hunting. That's
really,
what we
you can
want to
keep
do.
the government out of it.
And you're getting volunteers to go out and do this. We're not taking paychecks to go out there and conserve.
We're doing this. We're doing this out of just pure love. We're doing this because we love the land and we love hunting, and we want to do this.
Pass it along. We want to see future generations benefit from it, like we did.
Yeah. I mean, it just tied it back to our earliest conversation: hunting heritage. We're doing this to preserve and pass on.
Yeah.
We're making this place better for our kids, and our kids will make it better for their kids.
But I'm not from here. I'm not from Kentucky, but it's not like your grandparents had the opportunity to hunt elk in Kentucky.
No, my grandpa had to go out west to kill his elk.
Even your dad didn't have the opportunity to hunt elk until the mid 2000s.
My dad didn't have the opportunity to kill turkeys when he was a kid because there wasn't a turkey season.
Yeah.
I think my grandpa, he's been deer hunting so long. There was a point in time when you could not kill bucks in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he remembers hunting doe only.
Yeah.
Now,
isn't there still a buckless unit in Kentucky?
If there is, I would venture to say that it's down near like Barron County.
It'd have to be down there in the bottom.
Down near like Land Between the Lakes or something.
I think Sean's looking it up right now.
What a place there.
Yeah.
Axis deer?
It's either axis or fallow.
Yeah, it's axis.
It's fallow. It's a fallow deer.
It's the only place you can find them this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, they got dropped there. Like, they're obviously not from there.
But elk. They get a small bison herd too.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't hunt anything there.
No, you can't. Yeah. But this is just a representation of what Kentucky was, with elk and bison and so forth, and
random fallow deer,
imported fallow deer.
Yeah, yeah, fallow deer are cool looking.
They are.
I wouldn't ever pay what it costs to hunt one, but
I've heard that they're some of the best tasting meat too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, me too. It's always been a bucket list one.
Yeah, they are.
And I feel like it's the poor man's caribou.
Well, oh yeah, it's such a.
I think caribou is the poor man's fallow deer.
Yeah, I mean,
a couple of the African trips, Adam's gone on, and I've looked at the species, and I'm like, I'm going to pass on these things. Fallow deer, yeah, that would be mine.
Fallow deer are cool. If you've got the money, though, you can go get them in Texas all day.
Yeah.
You're gonna high fence them, but
you can get anything in Texas.
You can get whatever you want in Texas.
Except hunting on public land.
Except hunting on public land.
There is not.
It is. It's the hard public land hunting in Texas is It's one of the most infuriating things I've ever tried to do. There's just not a lot of public land, and what there is whether it's state owned or not. The federal stuff is easier to access. The state-owned land, you're calling around to these different agencies to find out if you're allowed to use it. Then you get a hold of these agencies, and they don't even know that they own it. Right? We don't know who's in charge of that. Well, I'm looking at it right now, and it says you're in charge of that. Well, we don't know anything about it. Cool. So that's a no, right? Because you can't... And that's what's crazy is it is public land. Right? It should be accessible to the public.
I'm starting to notice a theme.
It's ours.
State to state, record keeping is atrocious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you get to the point of like that, and there's this one particular piece of land in Texas that I've called for weeks about, trying to figure out how do we hunt it. Because there's game on that. There is game on it. And it says that it's owned by Texas Department of Energy. I have been run around almost the entire Texas government trying to figure out how to get on it. Legally. Obviously, you can just go trespass, but that's a no-no.
Is it trespassing when it's
Public land? That's where I'm at. I think being a non-resident, it probably is.
Yeah, because that would be Texas.
Texas
land, right?
Yeah.
I wondered how that would work.
But if you have a hunting license, if you have a non-resident hunting license, does it matter?
I mean, if it's public land.
I'm going to need somebody
keep
pretty high
off
up
of
in the
it?
government of Texas to reach out to me.
Yeah, we need answers to these questions.
I mean, there's no wells or anything.
I've messaged Texas Parks and Wildlife on Facebook and stuff, and I get like how that sounds, but I've had pretty good luck just bombing messages on Facebook to whether it's government organizations or companies, right? Big companies, and getting a response and getting the information that I needed. But Texas Parks and Wildlife left the last 2 times I've messaged them on stuff. They've just left me on red, and one of them I thought was pretty cool, right? I'm pretty sure, based off of the size of my hand and everything, that I found gray wolf tracks outside of El Paso. I reached out to everybody that would know, and it's too big to be a red wolf. It's way too big to be a coyote, right? And it's clawed like a dog, so it's not a cat. What do we got here? Either there's just a big dog running around, a huge dog running around out there, or there's a free gray wolf running around north of El Paso. But I messaged, I did all my due diligence. I talked to everybody I thought I should have talked to about it, or tried to, and the Texas government's the one that wouldn't play ball. The people that could actually do something about it. I guess I could have got a hold of U.S. Fish and Wildlife too.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that.
But yeah, no, dealing with it's all crap in pretty much any state. Some are better put together than others.
It's crazy though, as we're talking about public land, which is ours. And we're talking about the government not responding. Governmental departments not responding.
That's crazy.
Which are funded by us.
Right.
Wow. Civil servants
so
to us, not wanting to help us.
Well, and then it's like with all that land in Texas that I'm trying to figure out how to hunt on. Okay, if you don't even know that it exists, why not just make it hunting land, right? Just open it up to public recreation land. Like, put it under Texas Parks and Wildlife and let people hunt it. Because you're not doing anything with it. But I think, and this is just this whole battle this year of public lands has kind of brought this into my mind. If you don't let anybody use it, they don't know what they're losing when you go to sell it.
Right.
So it's easy to wrap this up under Texas Department of Energy or TDOT or whatever, and just not let anybody use it. And so when the time comes to make a fat chunk of money on it, you can sell it and nobody's going to bitch about it because they don't know that it's there. They don't know that they're losing it.
Oh, now that has failed, do you think that things will change?
Well, this is, again, state land in Texas. This isn't federal land. And I still think just because it got taken out of one bill doesn't mean it's not coming back. You know, on the back end of midterms.
Did you see that clip I sent you yesterday?
I started watching it.
I won't mention who said it, but I mean that was absolutely interesting. That the people that are extracting the natural resources.
Oh yes.
Major corporations, right? Like extracting natural resources out of the land that haven't paid a penny for that land.
Yeah.
And then as, families go into national parks and they pay their, either buy the park pass for $75 for the year or your entry fee for $20, $35, whatever it costs. You as an individual have paid more money than those major corporations to extract gold or whatever resource they're getting out of the land.
Yeah.
So even on public land that we fund through taxes that we own, we still have to pay to use it. But some of these corporations do not have to. So
they come in.
Is this gonna come back in a later bill or a different form? Absolutely, which is why you always have to stay vigilant on. You got to stay on top of it.
Yeah, they're gonna wrap it up into something else. Like they took a hard pee-pee smack over this whole thing. And
what's funny is you had a lot of people vote for it that just stayed silent.
Mm-hmm.
That hopefully it was an eye-opener to them that we as hunters are it's going to sound bad. I don't want to go down a whole political theme, but you just can't always count on us because of our stance on, the Second Amendment and guns.
Yeah.
Well, they're not reading the whole bills either.
Oh, God, no.
They get sent these 1,000-page bills.
Well, and I think that's part of why they do it is if you're bombing somebody with information, and it's like you have to have an entire team of people to compartmentalize this, and
they want your vote of yay or nay in 48 hours. So
yeah.
That's not enough time to read it, let alone comprehend it.
Yeah.
So.
No, you have to have an entire team of legal scholars sitting there, and each person gets their own section, and then you're playing the telephone game on the back end. You're going to hear how they understood it.
Right. Oh, yeah. Completely
their
different.
interpretation.
Yeah.
Not saying that there's some ulterior motive to the way that they understand it, but you're taking somebody else's interpretation of this bill, of this portion of this bill, and then you're trying to form a consensus that you're going to go vote with in 48 hours.
And, that's not how things need to be.
No. I think these 1,000-page bills is getting into kind of a political rant, but
lay it out 10-page max.
Yep. This is what it is. This is what we want to do.
Our rep Massey,
dude, Thomas Massey.
He calls them out on it. Like we shouldn't have these mega bills. One of the most interesting things he said is that these mega bills, like you should have a budget for like say Department of Education. You should have this other bill for funding for a completely different Department of Energy or whatever, right? So that way you don't have to vote on one mega bill to fund the complete government. Like these departments are going to be operating independently based on these small bills instead of just this huge mega bill that is going to control everything.
Yeah. And I mean, we won on the public land side of things.
But we lost. I'm not a political scientist, and my terminology and everything's wrong. I just know I feel what's going to get me riled up is public lands and firearms.
Yeah.
Well,
we lost on the gun side. They gave this bullshit appeasement of, we'll waive the NFA fee for SBRs and suppressors. Okay. Well, the deal was that the registry was gone, and you guys just changed that, and your appeasement was you get to save $200,
but I still got to send in my 10 card and give you free reign to come in my house whenever you
Right.
want.
Absolutely.
Like,
I would rather pay the $200
and not have the registry.
Not have the registry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well, I'd
doesn't
rather
happen.
not.
We've all seen YouTube videos where that has happened. People had showed up. Did you just order this? What was that about? Why? Do you have this on your purse? Whatever. Like, there's YouTube videos of that happening.
Yeah.
So there is a registry where that is actively being worked, I guess, is the best way to put it. And,
Well, it was just like when gun stores go out of business for, like, the ATF takes those 4473s.
oh yeah, you got to turn them in. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you're gonna tell me that they're not forming a registry with that? They've been doing it since the 4473s came into existence. They've been doing that, right? When a gun store goes out of business, they take all that stuff. You're gonna tell me for a second that there's not some registry in a closet somewhere?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, I have a huge distrust of the federal government on that end of things, and but we got screwed in that bill on the gun side, and everybody just kind of let it happen. Now you do have organizations like GOA and stuff that are suing the federal government, but okay, well, in 15 years when that gets hammered out, we'll do something about it. But it's like, how many American lifetimes are we going to have to wait until we have our liberty back? What are we going to? If you would ask me when I was in high school, yeah, we'll see it in our lifetime. But now in my early 30s, I'm like, maybe we don't.
I don't know that my kids will see it.
Yeah. You always get the question too, because I've had some non-hunting friends ask, like, why do you need a suppressor?
Your kids will see something, because by the time they're adults, if things keep going the way that they're going, everybody's going to be living on the streets.
Yeah.
Like,
well, there's no, you're not going to own anything, and you're going to be happy with it.
Yeah,
this is the mentality.
Because the only way to this is getting way off course, but there's only so many ways to fix the situation that we're in, and it seems to be the one that everybody's going to want to lean to is going to be large scale socialism, where we all live in government housing and do the jobs that we're told to do. And
but you legit can bring that philosophy back to hunting, right? Like Kentucky elk hunt. I mean, this whole, like, it comes around, right? So it's the same people that are saying, I don't agree with this shit, that are actually practicing those philosophies in their own little world to profit off of.
Yeah.
And, and I'm not against anybody profiting. I'm a business owner. If you're a business owner, like, we work to make a living, but there's a difference between profiting and gouging. And at some point we lost, the definition of what profiting and gouging is.
That line got a little too blurry and
is a mile wide now.
Right. I mean, with the corner crossing case in Wyoming, I mean, like, this, like, we're talking about one small issue, but it is a broader issue that transcends, just the basic political world, and it comes into our world. I mean, like, the two guys that are, I know backcountry hunters and anglers are helping put a lot of noise around this and raise a lot of funds for the legal fee, their legal fees. But the corner crossing case, some billionaire CEO in North Carolina, his property is damaged because these guys legally corner crossed on public land.
Yeah.
What's he afraid of? Oh, he can't sell. He can't harvest those elk.
Yeah. Yeah. He can't. Oh, no, you've got half an acre that has public easement.
Ooh.
Like bullshit.
Yeah. It's still your land. Public's just allowed to cross it. Like,
we have...
Nobody's hunting the elk on your land. That doesn't turn your land into public land. It just means from here to here, people can walk through.
Yeah. There's a burned down foundation of a church and a cemetery down on my parents' farm.
Yeah.
And we legally cannot gate off the tractor path to get there because it is still on maps as a county road. And, there are family members of deceased in that cemetery that still live in the area. So it has to remain unlocked and open to the public. It's kind of a headache, but you know, it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Well, before we roll into another tangent about something, we'll have you back for sure. Yeah, this was good. This was
I
good.
appreciate it.
Yeah. We didn't get into bears. I really thought we were going to get into bears.
I mean,
And
It gives you a chance to come back.
yeah.
we can.
Yeah, we'll talk about
the
the local bear crisis and maybe a little closer to hunting season.
I mean, bear is in season right now for chase only.
Chase only, yeah.
In Kentucky?
Yep, to work your dogs.
Oh,
Yep.
chase only. Yeah, that's not real, though. And that's how you end up getting bad dogs. Like, it's a good way to train new pups, but you're going to get dogs that end up getting killed by bears because they think they can turn around on them.
Yeah. I mean, you can still go out there with your gun, but you can't have the intent to kill. You know, you're out there for self-defense.
Yeah, but it's also unrewarding to the dog to tree a bear and then get them to walk away. Then they lose their kill drive. And then the bears become, you're going to get bears that tree really, really fast because they know. Like, they're just going to tree right now.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas a bear that's been run before, right? Or a bear that knows that you're going to shoot it, right? That bear's running for its life, and that's a whole different ballgame. You put chase only dogs on a bear that's running for its life, and that bear's going to dust them, right? So chase only is great, I think, for training new pups. But if you really want dogs that are going to get after it and do it and put a 14-hour day on behind a bear, you're not going to do it by not killing that bear.
I mean, the same could be said for having beagles run rabbits. I mean, my grandpa has beagles that he has trained to run rabbits, and I mean, probably 1 in 4 chases, they're chasing a deer, not a rabbit, but
it's not a good rabbit dog.
But I mean, they don't get the kill, they're chasing it, and if I have a botched shot or I miss the rabbit, they're not getting the reward of.
I mean, it's the same with bird dog.
Yeah.
You got a pheasant pop up. How long is that dog going to put up with it if it's
just a horrible shot?
It kicks 40 birds up and you don't kill one of them, right? So that you're going to give that dog depression.
Yeah.
What are you going to quit on?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you just need to put the gun down.
Get to the trap field.
Yeah. Try a different hobby.
Yeah.
Try fishing.
Clearly, you're patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
If you've got that patience, you've got the patience to go fishing.
Yeah.
So.
But, all right. Well, we're going to wrap this.
All right.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.